So, we've covered the basis of pretty much looking back, looking at the past, and that quote's dope. I like that quote a lot, what you used, and I have one that's pretty similar to me, and we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But so you're looking forward,
Yeah.
and you're where you're at now. You've got something that you're building.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a time and a place. We've talked recently, and I talked with your mom as well about what you're wanting to step into and what all of y'all are really working towards right now and looking at. And when you see that and you think about the impact that you talked about, that you want to make and you want to take it to a certain place, what's the thing that you feel like right now is really shining through, that God's like really talking to you on, shaping you inside of, wanting to send you into, you feel like?
I think pretty much that never take a day for granted. I think that's pretty much what I learned, especially through my dad. And I even talked to you, I remember talking to you at his graveside. And you were there when Kirk, which was a friend of mine's dad, walked up to me and said, "I have your brand."
Yeah.
And I spit it. He said, "Live ready." And it sat with me for such a long time. And that was actually the last two words that my mom said at my dad's funeral was, he loved well and he lived ready. So you're living like you're ready to die tomorrow. When you go to bed at night, when you lay your head on the pillow, did you give it your all? Or do you have things that you still have not accomplished yet or want to? And I believed in that message so much, I literally have it tattooed on my hand amongst a lot of other things. But that's pretty much what I'm stepping into in my life right now, is I want to help kids get out of their own way or get out of their own head. And I still struggle all the time because, I got like this much of a social battery, and when it runs out, I don't want to see nobody. And I still get in those little pits where I get in my head too much, I overthink, and I want to help people get out so I could lead them to something bigger. Like, follow me, I'll lead you to something that's way bigger than me. And you follow him the entire time, but I'm just a rebound guy.
Vessel.
Is pretty much a vessel. That's pretty much what I want to be for the world. And whether that's kids of elementary school all the way to adults, I feel like I could speak to people of all age demographics, if that's the right word.
Graphics, age graphics.
Age graphics, that's pretty much what I feel like I could do best. Speaking is something I'm passionate about, but people is something I'm even more passionate about.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's really dope, because I think, what we're doing with this photo shoot, another idea, we're playing off of this crown thing a lot, where on the back of the sweatshirts there's going to be the crown with the the statement, what does it mean when royalty loves me? And that has its own meaning, but inside of this shoot we're also working underneath the idea of Revelations 3:11, where it's written, it says, it goes along the basis of, I don't remember it word for word, but it goes along the basis of protect your crown. Don't allow people on this earth to take your crown from you. And what it really means is, don't allow the perspectives of people, the words of people, the ideas of people to take away the true meaning and understanding of what God has given you.
Right.
And what is placed in front of you. Don't allow other people to demean it. Don't allow other people to take it from you literally, as well as just alter your thoughts on it. That's something that I'm really big on, is I'm wearing this weird bandana and this weird hat, and I was telling you, I was like, I want to do it to grab attention, and I also said, like, I don't know if I really like it, but that's why I'm kind of making myself wear it. Because I feel like there's a certain unique side of life that God created each and every person to live inside of. And protecting my crown, and looking at it in that manner, it's a lot more than just, something that I'm carrying, which is what we're doing in the photo shoot, with you carrying the crown and you're carrying it everywhere. You're protecting it. You're walking with it. You are carrying who God says you are with you everywhere you go.
Right.
And I think the understanding of there's going to be outside perspectives, and sometimes those perspectives are good from the correct people who are also divinely called to pour into your life. But then there's also a divine calling for you to stand and know in who God's called you to be and what He's called you to do. Not many people would look at you and say, oh, you should go and be a public speaker. A lot of the time they're probably going to say, go be a model, go move to LA, try to do the influencer stuff.
I've gotten tattoo artists a lot.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of people are probably asking you, telling you should do, but there's an understanding, a deeper understanding that's in this connection that's different than what other people can understand or really hear. And know, a lot of people might think you're crazy. A lot of people might think it's weird. I think that's what's so cool about, the term creative. For me, being a fashion head, being somebody who tries to dive as deep as I can in the creative world, it's not just me trying to be different. It's me trying to be the exact person that God's calling me to be in the moment. And sometimes that's to stretch people's perspectives or just simply stand outside of people's perspectives. But it takes a certain understanding and knowledge on the inside to really know and understand who I am, so that way I can protect my crown,
right,
and protect who I am and who God wants me to be, and not allow, the enemy to come in and alter those things through the voice of other people. Because while he might want to use our voice as vessels to encourage and inspire young people to step into a new version of themselves or a better version of themselves, there's also vessels that the enemy can try to use to bring them down to a worse version of themselves. And so I think that that's really, really cool to kind of hear how, honestly, this photo shoot and the idea behind what we're doing, how it ties into very well your life and where you're headed. And, the steps you're going into. There's so many different things right now, especially with how wide open the world is and opportunities, the things you can see. I think that it used to be the idea of wanting to be an astronaut when you grew up as a kid, because that was the coolest thing you saw on TV. Now there's millions of cool things that they can all see on an app.
Yeah.
And it's like, this open up this world for you to find who you want to be and who you can be. But I also think it's set a certain perspective and a certain idea and a certain limit on what you can do or who you can be, and that limitation. And so that's why I think it's really, really cool and really, really inspiring inside of what God has called us to do in this conversation, in this photo shoot, in this clothing collection, all of it to push a mission over selling the clothes. I think I said that on the phone with you yesterday. It was either you or Malachi. It was one of y'all too. I said, I really feel like God was pushing on me for this one. Mission over money.
Yeah.
Look, if it costs money, spend the money. That's fleeting. God has power over that anyways. The mission is why we're here. That's what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to tell people, live ready. Be ready every single day and give your all. Give everything you have. Don't worry about tomorrow. That's literally scripture. Exactly. Yeah. So all of those things scripturally in our lives, the examples that God has taken us through in our moments, I think it's beautiful to just kind of see where everything's headed and where everything's ended up, and come to this point in this photo shoot. When I hit you with that voice memo, I was like, this is the perfect person for this. And I was just praying in that moment, and it was kind of like, God, I don't know how I want to run the photo shoot. Do I try to do it all myself? Do I try to, use the same models we've used in the past? Because we're stepping into a new season with Vision as well. And with that, it's just kind of, this is a new thing for me. This is a new thing for you that we're stepping into. And that's why I wanted to have this untitled conversation. I was telling you and Tyler in the house, I literally was writing down untitled conversation because it was untitled.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to call this conversation, and the future one's coming. And now it's just like, no, it's untitled conversations. We sat down with no notes. We sat down and talked about life. And that's the goal. And that's how we're putting it out there. So what things, ending off this conversation, what things do you want to put out to the people for them to go find? For them to, with you, the future steps you're going into, as well as what encouragement would you give people watching based off of, what's on your heart right now?
Look at the camera?
Either or.
I'll look at the camera. Whatever you're going through in your life right now, and you feel like it's the end of the world, it's not. It's literally the beginning. I know you feel like you have no hope right now, that whatever you go through is always the wrong term, but there is hope, and his name is Jesus. And everything is going to be okay. I know it really doesn't seem like that right now, and that's probably such a cliche saying, but it's the most perfect thing to say in this moment. That the thoughts in your head are not true. That there is truth, and again, his name is Jesus. You have to live each day like you could die tomorrow, because tomorrow is never promised. You know, I never really got to say goodbye to my dad. I really wish, looking back, that I would have just soaked in every moment that I had with him. But now God has given us the opportunity to do that every day. Never say an empty goodbye. Always tell everybody you love them. Give them a hug. Let people know how important they are to you, because that could honestly make someone's day. You know, if you feel led to compliment somebody, like I do it all the time. I compliment when I see someone has new hair at Walgreens, the worker. I compliment them because it makes their day. A compliment goes a long way for other people. You want me to shout out my website? Is that what you mean?
Hey, right. whatever you got rolling right now.
Yeah, so I'm going to start going into speaking in schools. You might see me at a school near you or see me at your school. My website is www.alwaysliveready.com. So I just want to help people, you know, and I want to lead them to Jesus. And because, I mean, he never let me go, and I'm feel called like I'm supposed to be on this mission. I'm not only supposed to be Cole the football player. I'm supposed to be Cole Beckham, and that's exactly who God made me to be.
Let's go. Yeah. That's it. That's dope. And also, go check out their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Cole and Gav. Cole and Gav, not Cole and Gav.
Yeah, Cole and Gav is, yeah, man. Yeah.
That's it. That's exciting. Man. Let's do it, man. Let's go get this shoot rolling.
Let's do it. Wow, love y'all.